We can't be as loud because then we come across as sort of abrasive, whereas a guy can be extremely assertive and not be called a
Good evening, angels. So the first question that I wanted to ask you is, I feel like Charlie's Angels is like the perfect resume for you guys to be a part of a superhero film. So if you could play any superhero, since you haven't played one, so who would you like to play?
Naomi Scott or Balinska.
Yes.
That's because they're my superheroes.
Oh my gosh, what a good answer that is, eh? I think we'll leave it at that. That killed it. That deaded the game.
As a fan of both Twilight and Aladdin, if you had to put Princess Jasmine and Bella Swan as a Charlie's Angel, do you think they'd do a good job?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Oh my gosh, don't you dare about Bella Swan.
I just start
That's my
going,
girl.
Yeah, I was like,
yes. Don't even.
No, Jasmine for sure. I just sort of was starting to go on a weird Twilight tangent,
Yeah.
really start analyzing my character, and I was like, no, she'd be great.
I can see it
She'd be
happening
great.
in your head. But the answer is yes.
One of my favorite moments in the film was the dance sequence. Is there any interesting anecdote behind that? Because you had said that it was your dance moves that got you into the film, in a way.
Ironically, that is how I met Liz Banks. And that was not written into the script and was a sort of alternate version of a big, huge action set piece that we had to cut for time. And so she had to come up with this on the fly and basically came into work and said, so, ladies,
Literally 2
today
days
you're gonna learn a
before.
dance, the whole choreographed dance thing, and we're gonna shoot it tonight. And we were like,
Excuse me?
yeah.
You lived for the challenge.
It was so much fun. We were in that thing, and it was like this massive space, and they had it wasn't just like playback on a tiny speaker, it was
elaborate.
full-blown playback.
You need that.
It's like we're shooting a music video. It's very cool. Also, we have that now in our wheelhouse. We can pull that out at any time. I could be like, we
That's
still
what she
know
does
it.
at the clubs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
just
sounded
do that
like
over and over and over now.
Yeah.
My one dance.
How did it go about the action sequences? Because there's a level of intricate detailing that went into it. So how was that process like, getting into the character, being fierce, being sexy, being unapologetically sexy, and being like, the brawn, the brain, the beauty, everything combined. So how did that go about?
I like the fact though that our characters don't necessarily think about being sexy.
Yeah.
I mean, watching these guys, I'm like, wow, damn. But, for example, Jane's just thinking about being precise. Samina's just being like a puppy and just being herself, right? Me, I'm just screaming most of the time. But, we don't necessarily think about that, which I think is what then makes it sexy, maybe?
Sexy.
Right? I don't know.
Yeah, and then also the whole male gaze thing versus kind of seeing each other through our own lenses. Not in a way that brings sexuality into it in any way, but women really admire each other in a way that like men don't. Like we appreciate beauty in this really cool way, and like repossessing that idea of beauty and not having it necessarily tied to who you want to sleep with or who you have a crush on is really cool. Like I look at these girls and I'm just like, I think they're stunning animals. Like I think they're just they're beasts, and I'm just like, they're majestic, and I just admire them so much. And that's something that only girls know how to take care of each other in like a really beautiful way.
And my last question is, your character in particular, even though it's an all-in-all action entertaining film, it also sheds light on sexism in workplace, which is done through your character. So have you all ever felt in your career, even with yours, it's such a long-spanning career, has it ever been where being a part of Hollywood as a woman has been difficult, or there have been disadvantages in your life?
Oh my God, yeah.
I think, I would say.
Just the way that a set is run. I find quite often, even on our set where Liz not only demanded respect, but also naturally commanded it, I would notice when people weren't really listening to her. When a man starts speaking on set and he's the director, everyone hushes up and you listen. And I could see a few times where she'd be like, oh my God, okay, like, everyone listen. And there's just a certain way of navigating communication that a woman has to do a certain amount of placating and kind of massaging personalities. We can't be as loud because then we come across as sort of abrasive, whereas a guy can be extremely assertive and not be called a And So that's something we all have to deal with every day, not just in the film industry, but it's a nice little example, sort of like microcosm of that. We all have to function a little differently in order to be heard.
I once got asked, what would you, if there was any advice that you'd give to your younger self, and one of the things was to just ask for more. Weirdly enough, I remember watching Liz Banks on set when I was shooting a movie the first time I met her, on another movie, Power Rangers, and I remember watching her and just learning kind of how to assert yourself, which I don't know, I can't speak for everyone. Maybe that's something that doesn't naturally come because you're not taught that you can maybe do that, and so it's something you learn a little bit later in life, that's okay to be upfront and kind of ask for what you want and be assertive. So that's something that I learned, and I thought to myself, yeah, just ask, you know?
Yeah.